The man is dead, but something shifts beneath his features. A glistening tadpole emerges, slithering up past a sightless eyeball. The same as the creature behind your eye. One squeeze should do it, but you stop short. How could you think of harming something so beautiful, so pure? The tadpole plops to the ground. Now is your chance to stomp it into the dirt. But it's too precious, too sweet, isn't it? You raise your heel and crush the parasite into the ground. Intense regret washes over you, churning your stomach.
So, we're blessed true souls, handpicked by the Absolute. Just like their ex-brother, who, by a remarkable coincidence, also had a Mind Flayer worm in his skull. I don't know. I could get used to lesser souls worshipping me. But you're not wrong. We need to do something, and soon. Who, by a remarkable coincidence, also had a Mind Flayer worm in his skull. Probably. But at least we know what's scuttling about in our heads. He seems completely unaware. Ignorance is bliss, I suppose. Who, by a remarkable coincidence, also had a Mind Flayer worm in his skull. Indeed. Until we transform into floating, slimy monsters. I imagine it'll be downhill after that.
Did you feel that? It wasn't us doing the talking. There was a power behind the words. The parasite. We spoke, but it commanded. You can't say that for certain. Not while we don't know the true cost. If I were a parasite, I'd want my host to think I was a benefit. Be careful with this advantage. We spoke, but it commanded. I'm not sure I want to know the answer to that question, but I doubt these pests are acting out of kindness towards us. We have to be careful. There's a lot we don't know, but we still have a choice. For now. But it commanded. Yes. For all we know, indulging in this power will just hasten our infection spread. But we'll need to balance risk against reward. Any delay could be our last.
I have to say, it's one thing to have a parasite in your head. Quite another not to know it's there. And what's more, these people weren't on the Nautiloid with us. Just how many Mind Flayers are at work in these parts? Mind Flayers excel at mind games. To enthrall completely is their bread and butter. What if they had perfected their craft by convincing their subjects they're not thralls at all, but that they have free will? That the commandments they experience are the will of a benevolent god? How terrifying a level of perfection that would be. Just how many Mind Flayers are at work in these parts? This true soul and his acolytes are ample proof of that. They're ample proof of a dread suspicion as well. Just how many Mind Flayers are at work in these parts? You really do dismiss these events too casually.
This so-called true soul carried a tadpole. Their absolute is no god. It is a geich deception sown by the parasites devouring their minds. That such a thing lives inside me is unbearable. The voice is real. Its words are a fraud. Unbearable. A horror, and an unconventional one at that. Shared delusion is not a typical symptom. The Mind Flayers have a plan for these true souls. Which means they've a plan for us.
Oh, did you see that thing? He had a tadpole in his head, same as us. Who is this god of theirs? This Absolute? Has to be. First the brain bug, then I'm feeling you in my head, and now these true souls. They think we're one of them. It's all connected, but how? Who is this god of theirs? This absolute? Coincidence? They think we're one of them.
You spotted us. Good. It's like they say. No fun in skewing a pig what doesn't know he's cooked. We got you surrounded. Here's how this goes. You take one step further, and we'll fill your front with arrows. Or you turn around, and your backside gets the same treatment.
A strange symbol glows, marked on their flesh, and something within you stirs in response.
You're a true soul. But my mistake, sir.
A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated.
You'll get no more trouble from us. Promise.
So, we can bend minds like Willow now. These worms are full of surprises. I wonder where the limit of their power lies. How much more can they do for us? Have you forgotten everything we've seen? Everything we've done? It's been one risk after another. But this is where you draw the line. The one advantage we've been given. Cowardly. How much more can they do for us? No, but some prices are worth paying. How much more can they do for us? No, they certainly have their benefits.
One thing I have to say for this parasite in our heads, it's teaching us some neat tricks before it kills us. The way we can reach out to others, make them do our bidding. Power of mind flayers at our fingertips. Is it? It's not because we do like mind flayers that we are like mind flayers. The means hardly matter if the ends are worthy. If this little mind trick can help us overcome whatever waits around the bend, that's a worthy end, if you ask me. Power of mind flayers at our fingertips. We're still the masters of our own faculties, aren't we? As long as we can, we might as well use the power of the parasite against itself, by using it to help us find a way to remove the damn thing. Power of mind flayers at our fingertips. Not quite the point I was making, but close enough.
I'll be damned to the last hell. We can connect with others. Try to mold their minds. Handy power, if you ask me. Maybe the brain bugs aren't all bad. Don't go putting the cart before the Rothe. Bending brains is a tool for survival, not the key to a kingdom. Let's just dabble here and there when we need to. See what happens. Maybe the brain bugs aren't all bad. Hadn't thought of that. But you're right. The last thing we need is a bug backlash. Still, a shame to turn our backs on a skill that potent. Maybe we just dabble here and there. See what happens. Maybe the brain bugs aren't all bad. Fair enough. Who's to say what troubles those bugs could stir up? Still, a shame to turn our backs on a skill that potent. Maybe we just dabble here and there. See what happens.
How is this? The Tadpole forged a connection. More than a connection. Control. The parasite will split your flesh and corrupt your mind, yet you think it offers a blessing? This power is bait, and we are the prey. Only a fool would seek another taste. More than a connection. Control. Suitable counsel, however obvious it might be. Control. Fool. Do you imagine the parasite will not require payment for this gift?
That tadpole wasted no time in abandoning its host. Not sentimental creatures, clearly. Indeed, Once mine's out, I'm going to drop it in a lit brazier and watch it sizzle. Not sentimental creatures, clearly. Being delirious with pain will do that. But there's something more, I think. His faith in the Absolute can't be a coincidence. The cult must be connected to all this somehow. Not sentimental creatures, clearly. Nor I. All the more reason to get these things out while we're still alive.
That wriggler swimming in your brain juice is a bit of an inconvenience, isn't it? Because you stink. And I know the stench of mind flayer anywhere. I can tell you're almost done cooking. You know, you could turn just like that. What do you say? Want me to take care of the little bugger? My, I do like them eager. But note that I don't work for free. I expect payment up front. One of your pretty little peepers. I'll pluck it from your head, kiss it for luck, then back in it goes. Won't take but a moment. That is my price. Nothing more, nothing less. Glorious. One moment. Auntie needs her real nails for this.
Much better. That human skin is fierce restrictive. Well, yes. I should bloody think so. Not many get to see a hag in all her glory. Consider yourself blessed. Now choose, which eye will it be? Right or left? Hold on to your knickers. This might sting a bit. No, that wasn't so bad, was it? That color suits you. No, unless you want tentacles for a tongue, stay absolutely still. I've removed one of these buggers before, but it's a touch tricky.
The parasite squirms at the hag's words. Pain builds behind your eye. You feel the creature writhe as it's dragged towards your ear. Then it bites back, burrowing even deeper into your brain.
Ah! Goddamn wretched! Ah! You little shit! You didn't tell me it was Netherese. I'm not touching that! Filthy shadow magic brings nothing but chains and misery. How could I have missed that stink? Like blood and piss congealing on my tongue. Ah! Someone's tampered with your parasite. That's likely why you've not turned yet. Bless us. You're as slow as a wet week. That thing has been touched by more than mind flayers. You're a dead soul walking. I can't help you. I'd kill you for that. But why deny your wriggler the pleasure? But let it not be said that Auntie Ethel doesn't honor her debts. Here, it's on you to fix yourself. Now get out!
Bad enough to have a worm jammed in my eye, but one that's been tampered with. What does that even mean? I mean, how do you tamper with something like that? It must be powerful magic to stop the parasite in its tracks. I wonder what else it could do. I mean, how do you tamper with something like that? Perhaps. And who's to say it can't be tampered with further? It's certainly something to think about. I mean, how do you tamper with something like that? We have time. Maybe we can find whoever's behind this and see what else their magic can do.
Netherese. A portentous word. Combine it with mind flayers and it's unspeakable. I actually don't know. All we can do is combine what we know and make our deductions. At the heart of it all, the problem is clear. We've been infected by a mind flayer parasite. So far, however, we've been spared the dread fate that is Ceramorphosis. How have we been spared? It would seem the answer is that the parasite is somehow infused with Netherese magic, more powerful, more sinister than it has any right to be. The question remains, however, why? Infected, but unchanging. Blind cogs in an all-seeing machine. I was merely thinking out loud, but if you desire a point, consider this. At the heart of it all, not only is our problem clear, but so is the motive of our enemy. Power. All power has a nexus. Find it, and we may just find both the answers and the remedy we seek.
The bug's been tampered with. What's that even mean, you reckon? So, what are you saying? Let our house guests fester in there, hope things don't get too rowdy? I'd sooner evict the buggers if it's all the same. What's that even mean, you reckon? What could be worse than turning into mind flayers? Actually, don't answer that. I think I prefer ignorance. What's that even mean, you reckon? If we're to believe Little Miss Mossback, dark magic's to blame. Something tells me our little passengers won't be so easy to evict. What's that even mean, you reckon? I don't know. We still haven't turned, have we? She's onto something. I just don't know what.
Tainted. That could explain the unusual course of this infection. I cannot say, and I won't speculate. We stay our course. We may not have yet turned, but the parasite still inflicts its visions upon us. That could explain the unusual course of this infection. Agreed. I see no reason to divert from purification protocol. That could explain the unusual course of this infection. The Geich leave nothing to chance, and neither should we. We stay our course.
Bad enough to have a tadpole, never mind one that's been tampered with. To say the least. But we know something new, assuming we can trust the word of a hag. One that's been tampered with. Your optimistic streak will be the death of us. For all you know, this could be something far worse. Well, never mind one that's been tampered with. The swamp fumes are getting to you, I see.